Today I'm going to teach you how to break down the PMBOK 6th edition so that it finally makes sense and you can stop spending your time mindlessly reading and you can actually learn. Let's do it. All right, so for you out there that says, but Scott, why are we going to the 6th edition? Isn't the 7th edition of the PMBOK what the PMP exam is based on? My friend, you are wrong in two different categories. Let me walk them through. First of all, you need to understand that the PMP exam, those questions, are not solely distilled from a PMBOK 6th or 7th edition. They are drawn from the world. Anybody can write a question and submit it to PMI. And they are, distilled out of inspiration from a lot of different books. So there's not one golden book that you read. You distill it down and you get it. What the exam really does, this is point 2, is that it actually tests good fundamental project management skills. Can you recognize problems in waterfall? That's where it comes from here. Agile and hybrid. If you can identify core good project management skills and problem solving, you're going to do exceptionally well. So knowing that, let's go back to the place where they actually walk through in crazy detail the actual waterfall process. Now, the problem that you have out there is this book is long. Dude, 700 and whatever pages. It is long, it is dense, and it's boring. It's boring, but they did a pretty good job at putting it all in there. We just got to distill it out. Here's how we do it. I need you to understand how this thing is structured. It's structured in 49 what they call processes. And the 49 processes, I want you to think about them as little factories. Now, little factories, all factories have the same thing in common. They all exist for a reason. It doesn't matter if they're making Twinkies or Teslas. The people that show up to that factory know what they're making. Now, the 49 processes that are in here, each exist for a reason. Okay, that makes sense. Now, what we got to do, number one, is we've got to, when we look at one of these processes, we've got to say, why does this process exist? What is the goal of the process? If we can identify that, we know why it's there in the book. It serves a purpose for us. We got to feel it in our gut. Now, as you visualize it as a process, I want you to see people walking into it. They know what they're building. And then anytime you build something, what do you need? You need raw materials to start with. You got to do something to it and you produce something, right? So in the structure of the PMBOK, they have these things called inputs, outputs, tools, and techniques. The inputs are the raw materials. The outputs are the things that we make. And the tools and techniques is how we get it done. Now, mistake that you could make right now is to go, Scott, I got it. I'll take it from here. I'm going to look at the inputs, outputs, and tools and techniques, and I'm going to memorize. I'm going to cram them in one ear and hold the other one and hope they don't fall out. Wrong. Remember how I explained in a visual way what was going on with like the 49 processes are actually factories? I need you to go a cappella. And I need you to see those people walking into the factory and go, all right, to make the thing that we know this factory is designed to make, because that's why it exists, what would we need? What would we need? And I need you to think about it. And the first couple times you do that, you know what's going to happen? Your brain is going to go blank. You're going to be like, I don't know at all. And you'll want to open it up. What you need to do is you need to sit back and you need to go, if I was there and I wanted to produce this thing, maybe it's a stakeholder register. Maybe it's a approved charter. Maybe it's a WBS. Maybe it's anything like that. What core raw materials would I need? As you go through that, you'll have a good understanding of like, oh, I need these base components. You can go back, look at the inputs and say, which one of these inputs is most impactful? Which one do I absolutely need? My number one draft pick of inputs. You take that, boom, that's what it needs. If you've gone through that mental exercise, your brain is going to snap onto it and it's not going to let it go because you went through the conversation of not knowing the answer. So you grab onto that, you bring it in and you put it in your mind. You go like, all right, I have the raw materials. I got the end. What's going to help me make the jump? You think about like, well, how would I do it? Would I analyze something? Would I evaluate something? Would I build something? What would I do to go from here to here? Let yourself sit in the thinking mode for a couple minutes. Then if you need help, you reference it and you go, boom, what would I do? Okay, you look at that. What we're trying to do is go from memorization, which we should never do, to understanding, to reflecting, to interpreting the inputs. Because every process, let's go through it again, exists for a reason. It's a factory, right? The people there, we're going to see them, they are proud of what they produce, and they understand, if I do this, take this, do this to it, and produce it, boom. Now, another thing is, factories exist in isolation, right? But they exist to serve. There's a lot of factories in life that hand their materials to another factory or an assembly plant or something like that that takes the materials and puts them together. That makes sense in our mind, right? So the same thing happens here. If we talk about what's the first process that we have, develop project charter. Sweet, that's what we do. So we understand what we're trying to produce there, a approved project charter. We understand what we could have from it. We have a business case. We have some kind of contracts that we've talked about. We have input from our big people, sponsors. We have stakeholder engagement, all these different things that we get out there and we try to work it through. You know, we build that charter, we get it approved, and then what happens? We always think when the product leaves the factory, when it leaves the process, where would it go? Who would want it? Where would it flow? Who at the other factory would say, I needed that, dude. I needed that part, and use it. Now, what you're doing is you're building a system in your mind that if you produce this, it flows here and it goes there. Now, there's some other popular videos, million-plus videos. Good. He'll lay out all those things. I think it kind of cheapens your mind a little bit. It gives you a cheat sheet to say everything and it connects all the dots. Not all the connections matter. We need to define what really matters. There are 7 key flows in this book of things that normally happen like a majority of the time in projects. Those are the flows, the inputs and outputs going from factory to factory, process to process that we need to nail down. For one reason is that those are the areas that the waterfall questions are based off of. In later videos and in my course, I'll go through, we have 7 key flows video. We nail it down and walk through these flows. All right. I've distilled them down. It makes it super duper easy. The other thing that we need to realize is that by studying that and thinking about the flows, the problems that you have in your life, that I've got in my life, that everybody else got their life, these flows, these common explosion points in a project, that's where these flows exist. Because if we can study that and think through that, we can start to reflect on how we do things. We can actually try to turn the knobs and get a little bit better. So what I want you to know from this is I want you to look at this as kind of like a gateway into really, really understanding yourself and your projects. And the way we do that is we don't just take it and read it and bore ourselves to death. Good luck reading 700 and whatever pages. I'm not going to do it. You shouldn't do it either. What we want to do is identify what the processes are, why they exist, what the raw materials are, and what people would work on to make them the final products. Think through that and then ask yourself, who would want that? What would be the natural next step? What would this open up for us? What could we do next? If we think through that process, we're not just trying to pass a test. We're actually thinking about what we do on a daily basis. So that's a little sneak peek into the way to think through this. If you want more, you know where to get me. Go, email me, Scott at PM Master Prep. Call me, 757-759-5282. Yeah, that's my phone number. Give me a call. And then the other thing is go to our site, PM Master Prep. Enroll in the free trial. We got tons of these videos, boom there. And then you get to talk to me in a group coaching call and a one-on-one if you want. And we go through and we solve questions so that I can see where you are, what your temperature is, how far along you are, and we can tweak and guide and tell you, this is how you get to the end. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye.